Yeah, this unex.
You know the drill.
I think I do. Yeah.
2 minutes, please.
Yeah. I do know 2 submitters who were scheduled before we had 15. I made a comment on that, and it's just a purely observation. So it's attached to the back, so I hope that you look at that in your own time, and I would like to know specifically why those variations are. There's probably a very good reason. I'd just like to know what they are, but not at this moment. Could you just look at the oral? And
That was just to allow for time. I can,
okay, yeah,
no,
that's far enough.
Everyone still gets 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, you'll see your oral is numbered, and we're going to take those at red at this stage for that very reason, limitations of time. And could you please have a look at that much better one of the Buell? If anybody's looked at that, it's a good site, and I think Councillor Rose has visited it. But in particular, look at this edition here, UK information on EDCs. I'd like you to take that to particular note. It is a very serious issue you're going to hear a lot more about. And you've heard me go on about it before. So I'll try and whip through this quite quickly and get to it. I might take as read a few more. So if you could just hold your pens. My oral has additional attachment on UK-sourced EDC world concerns. Please read and absorb. The Buell Dam provides alternative water use options in central Hawke's Bay to thousands of Ontario mobile septic tanks, each producing the equivalent to 14 adult body waste per day. Frightening. Abdication of responsibility I will take as read. Submission Part 1, rotated Tanifer Dam, comparisons with the Buell Tunbridge Wells. Reference of support in principle. Please note my comment to each point, particularly with respect to the dam's first operational consent to maintain aquatic habitat, as with the Buell River below the dam. I understand they're having some problems with that now, with bigger demands on the dam and droughts. Next paragraph, take as read. I think this is quite an interesting one. The Buell's outdoor pursuits and trout fishery are for sale for the remaining 94-year lease at £5.5 million. In contrast to Central Australia, the planning for the Buell Water began in 1946 when I was 8, construction 27 years later in 1973, the year I arrived here. It has 4 times the surface area of Tutira and twice that of Central Hawke's Bay Dam. Plans to lift the dam will increase the surface area by a third, with holding capacity more than that. It is a similar earth and rock structure as a CHB dam proposal. It is subjected to earthquakes, with several since being built, the last of significance 2007 and 2009, with their epicentre in Folkestone. Well worth a look at that. Next paragraph, take as read. I think we'll take the next one as read, but note my comments on the Papanui stream, which we've got problems with, and my association in that area, please. I want to move to Lambhurst, Kent, and take the first paragraph as read, and then a little bit about the village. The village, it's actually in my diocese at about 5 miles as the crow flies, the only inline community in a dam collapse, and one of the reasons the site was chosen from several. Note content of paragraph 4 as read. Now, dangerous EDCs. Lambhurst was one of the first rural communities in the area to install a wetland biosystem in 1952, like Otani, and under construction at Waipawa and Waipakarau. It was not tested under today's loaders with washing machine and dishwashing products or industrial wastewater, and oestrogen morning after pill, one of many problematic pharmaceuticals comprising what are known collectively as endocrine disablement chemicals, EDCs. EDCs are contained in fertiliser, antibiotics given to intensive dairy cows, medication is flushed down toilets, that's humans. Are New Zealand agencies dealing with this serious problem of world concern? Hawke's Bay were made aware of EDCs during the February-March 2010 fungal outbreaks in mature chuki trout. Forecast would manifest itself during the 12-year extension to Central Hawke's Bay wastewater discharge. Take 5 as read. I think we will take the next paragraph as read. Yes, and the next as read. And the first paragraph of amalgamation observation as read. And the abdication of responsibility too. During the failed attempts to acquire Tuki discharge data from Central during the drought, I received confirmation from Hawke's Bay Regional Council that consents are self-policed with water tests undertaken by the consent holder. It is the first time I have come across the police force handing over batons to potential offenders, avoiding impossible for enforcement. 7. Take as read. Further information. This is one of my babies. Submission Part 2, septic tanks. Health risk confirmed by DHB. For many years, no data for septic tanks related to contagious disease was forthcoming from the DHB. For 20 years, I've insisted it had to be there. Last February, the DHB acknowledged in the Wairau Star there were over 100 cases in Hawke's Bay at that time. In a contact from me in a response to the Star report, the DHB agreed this figure was underreported to them by 90%, which in my reckoning makes a theoretical 1,000 over a few months. Is that acceptable? Abdication of responsibility. I think the first section of that we'll take as read. Second paragraph. Despite over 2,000 health risk septic tanks in former county council in Jervistown, Miani, Bayview, Parati, The Loop and Awatoto, with 5 close to neighbours reticulated services, Mayor Anna insists there isn't a problem. I had a little bit of a stand-up with her last Thursday on that and I think I won. To deny a problem exists in favour of tourist bus stops for Art Deco buses denies resolution, as with Central Hawke's Bay members' abdication of responsibility in their substandard wastewater discharges to the Tuki. Could you please take the next section as read? But it's an interesting comparison with the counties and the work that I did on a dollar-for-dollar basis, and they acted as intermediates with the central government on that, and I think I was on about that before, but I think it's very relevant. And I think the next paragraph is very relevant too, and then we come to the last bit. In conversation with the DHB Health Unit, I am told reporting is not mandatory. Yet it lists notified disease. What a ridiculous situation. Can Hawke's Bay focus on health issues and weight authorities to their paramount responsibilities in these areas? Now, the last bit is rather nice. I've been kindly included in the loop with the officers from the start of this, and so it's quite interesting. Further information. Urban possum control. To my layperson eyes, the latest bird monitoring data indicates improvements in high nesting native birds and I believe that's due to the possum control, with low nesting introduced birds vulnerable to cat, rat and stoat predation, and that leaves a very unclear what the potential is. Finches and yellowhammers migrate in flocks from winter to summer locations, with many shot of poison in orchards and vineyards, including native waxeyes and fantails. This must be a minus to the summer bird monitoring numbers and also reduced numbers of birds during the winter migration back into urban locations. There are significant areas of further improvement to the bird population potential not being addressed. Can Hawke's Bay think on that, please? That concludes my submission.
Thank you. And your timing is impeccable. 10 minutes are up. Mr. Williams, so thank you very much for that.
No questions.
No time.
They should make time.
You should do.
There's a lot of things there. I mean, 1 minute. Surely you could ask them if
nice
there's
try.
anybody.
Nice try, Mr. Williams. Thank you.
Yes, well, please note my 5 extra minutes. And my comments on there about, I used to praise you up for your flexibility. You've actually now been dragged back. You might as well be over the road. So, thank you very much, and I hope you can apply yourself to that. You've been running a very, very good submissions process. I know you've had your aggravation with it, but could you please apply that, because I always spoke of you as the benchmark that the others should try to follow. So could you give that some thought?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Right.